I'm a director, yes.
Are you a managing director?
No, I'm not a managing director, I'm a director.
Who is the managing director?
The managing director used to be Manhal Waidat, but he left the country in December 2015, and since then we have not appointed a new managing director. I've been coming in and out to manage the company.
Why is that? Is there any reason why you have not appointed a managing director?
No, we haven't gotten around to it, but I'm essentially doing the job of a managing director.
You have a general manager?
We do.
Apart from yourself as director, you say you are director?
I am, yes.
Apart from yourself, who else is a director of Euro-Africa?
There is Mohammed Bazzi and myself. We are the directors in the company.
You don't have any other directors?
No. He is a shareholder. Maybe he is a director by the fact that he's a shareholder, but he and Mohammed Bazzi are the shareholders, and the directors are myself and it could be that Amadou is also director.
Okay. You said Mohammed Bazzi and Mr. Amadou Samba are the shareholders?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Can you tell us their shares individually?
I believe it's 55% to Mohammed Bazzi and 45% to Amadou Samba.
When was this company incorporated?
Back in 2005 or 2004.
What is the business of Euro-Africa Group Limited?
The primary activities of Euro-African Group is the importation of petroleum products.
Only? That's the only business?
That is the main activities of Euro-African Group, yes.
Okay. What are the other activities?
It renders services sometimes to other companies. There's a company, Global Trading Group, GTG, Belgium, where both companies, they render services to each other. For example, GTG arranges financial facilities for Euro-African with banks, and Eagle renders services to GTG, such as, if there's any purchases in the Gambia, etc., then Eagle will lend its services to GTG.
Okay. What does GEG does? Is global? What is
Global Trading Group? It's a Belgian company.
Global Trading Group?
Yes, which I'm a director of.
The company is being operated from where?
Belgium. Antwerp, Belgium. Belgium?
Sorry?
Belgium.
Belgium?
Yes.
It's not based here?
No, it's not based here.
Is it registered here?
Recently we have registered it here because it's doing some projects in the electricity sector.
Who are the shareholders of Global Trading Group Limited?
Mohammed Bazzi and myself.
In what shares?
75% Mohammed Bazzi, 25% myself.
Okay, what business does Global Trading Group do here?
It's mainly in the energy sector. We build power stations, substations, transmission and distribution networks, and it's a procurement office for all our projects Africa-wide and in Iraq.
What other companies are you linked to here?
Am I linked to?
No. You're here with regard to Euro-Africa Group. So when I say you, I mean Euro-Africa Group.
Yes.
All right. What other companies are you connected to? Gambian companies?
We are not connected to any company. It's.
Do you have any other companies apart from GEG?
Euro-African Group, you mean?
Yes.
No, Euro-African Group, it renders services to GTG. These two companies are not connected. They are not. They are just two different separate entities. Euro-African Group is a Gambian company, Global Trading Group is a Belgian company, and they render services to each other.
They are connected if the majority shareholders in both companies?
There is a common shareholding, as
yes.
you can see, which is Mohammed Bazi. He's a shareholder in both companies, yes.
Yeah. Okay. What other company do you have in this group? Eagle, you call Eagle is Euro-Africa Group.
Correct.
And Global Trading Group. Which other companies do you have here that Mohammed Bazi has shares in? Or yourself? We have an offshore company called Premier Investment Group, which is a shareholder in multi-shipping. It's a shipping agency, and I think that's about it as far as I am concerned. Do you know a company called Gamico?
Yes, I do.
That was one of your companies?
That is a company that Mohammed was a shareholder in via an offshore company. He's a shareholder in an offshore company which is a shareholder in Gamico.
Is Gamico still trading?
No.
Did you have any role in Gamico?
No.
You did not have, you personally?
I was, Manhalo Aidat was the general manager of Gamico, and by me coming in and out, and looking after Euro-African Group, I also used to oversee the activities of Gamico. I'm aware of the company's activities, but I was not actively involved in the day-to-day management.
Is Gamico still operating?
Excuse me?
Is it still operating?
It's not operating. It's ceased operation since maybe end of 2013 or 2014.
What about Gambia Milling Corporation?
Gambia Milling, yes, GMC. That's the milling company.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the connection?
We are shareholders by way of PIG, which is the Premier Investment Group, where we hold 50% of the shares. And the other shareholders are Seaboard, an American company.
Seaport?
Seaboard.
Seaboard?
Yes. S-E-A-B-O-A-R-D.
Okay. Now there was a company called Spectrum. Spectrum.
Yes.
Did you have any interest in that company?
Not at all.
Do you have any company, or did you, during the period under investigation, which is July 1994 to January 21st, 2017, did you have any company in the telecommunications sector?
No, we did not.
Did any of the directors of Euro-Africa Group have any connection in the telecommunications sector?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Have not received the summons personally in relation to Gamico. You've been summoned, and before you leave, please collect the summons. I won't ask you questions about the mining sector until you come back. Today you were summoned in relation to Euro-Africa Group, and particularly a transaction involving the Carnegie mining accounts. Number 110-100-2647.
Yes.
Now, two sums were paid to Euro-Africa Group from that account.
Correct.
On the 5th November 2013 and the 19th December 2013.
Correct.
Respectively in the sums of $30,969,140 and $1,213,810. Did Euro-Africa Group receive these sums?
Yes, we did.
Could you tell us about this payment?
Yes. This transaction was in relation to the sale of vehicles.
Selling of?
The sale of vehicles. Vehicles, yes, cars, which Global Trading Group Belgium sold to the Ministry of Tourism back at that time. The total amount for
Ministry of, sorry?
Tourism.
Okay. Do you have the transaction documents for the sale of the vehicles?
Yes, I do.
You have them here?
I do.
You have the originals?
I made copies of everything.
Okay, we would like to have the originals as well, but we'll look at the copies now. All right, go on.
Well, as I say, Global Trading Group sent a pro forma invoice for 32 cars.
32?
32 vehicles, yes. For a total of 600,000 euros. Now, as I said in the beginning of my conversation, that GTG and Eagle rendered services to each other. Since the payment could only happen in Dalasis, Eagle accepted to take the amount in Dalasis, transfer them into euros, and transfer to Belgium for this vehicle to be procured. So the amount was paid into the account of Euro African Group. It was paid at the rate of 51 Dalasis. The exchange rate of Euro Dalasi was 51. Then when we subsequently made the final exchange from Trust Bank, the final rate was 53. So there was a difference in the exchange rate, which made us subsequently write a letter that there is, well, the final rate that we exchanged the thing at was 53.63. So we wrote to the Office of the President to say that there is an amount of a difference of 1.2 million, 1,213,810, which was later paid to our account, so that the whole 600,000 euros was fully paid. Now, when Euro African got this amount, we changed the currency to euros. We transferred two portions. 530,000 were transferred directly to the dealer in Belgium, the dealer who sold the cars, so that GTG doesn't have to source directly between it and the dealer, because there is VAT in Belgium, etc., and extra costs. So Euro African transferred directly to the dealer, and the other 70,000 was transferred to GTG for the cost of transportation, documentation, etc. And I have all the documentation here to back this up.
Okay. Well, thank you. Can you show us what documentation you have? Just one at a time.
Yes,
the first one.
First of all, the pro forma invoice that was sent from Global Trading Group to the Ministry of Tourism, which highlights 32 vehicles at the cost of 600,000 euros.
600.
Then.
Was it exactly 600,000?
Excuse me?
Was exactly 600,000?
Yes. Well, I mean, if you want, initially it was 33 cars, but then there's one car that could not be arranged, so they revised the pro forma to 32, and it came to, initially it was 619. I have the two pro formas. The initial one, which was for 33, but then when it was found that only 32 could be arranged, it was revised back to 600,000 exactly.
Now, you have a pro forma.
I have both pro formas, the initial one and the other one.
Do you have a request from the Office of the President or the Ministry of Tourism?
No, this was all verbal.
Was all verbal?
Correct.
Okay. So the pro forma you have, yes. Let's have the pro forma. Can you collect the pro forma?
The first pro forma and the second, the revised pro forma. Of course, need the originals of these documents, but we will accept these for now, but you will have to bring in the originals. Well, they're at the office in Belgium. I will have to ask for them to be sent from Belgium. These are not from here.
Yes, please let them send them, the originals. All right, we have the pro forma. What is the next document? When you have all, then I'll pass them on. What's the next document that you have?
I have the deposit of the funds in the account of Euro African Group at Trust Bank, namely the 30,969,140. I then have the SWIFTs of the transfers that were made by Euro African Group to the dealer in Belgium for 530,000 euros.
Okay.
To a company called Datos NV. This was the dealer in Belgium.
A company called, sorry?
Datos NV, D-A-T-O-S NV.
Okay.
That's the 530,000 were transferred there, and 70,000 euros were transferred to Global Trading Group Belgium. I also have all the invoices from Datos NV to Euro African Group for the 32 vehicles. I have the bill of lading of the 32 vehicles, that bill of lading of the shipment that carried them to the Gambia, including all the serial numbers, chassis numbers of all the vehicles that were sent, model number, etc. And I have the exchange.
Sorry, you're not giving me the documents. Just give me the documents so that I know.
I thought I was just listing them first. No. I can give you all this.
So what is the next document? As you mention it, you give it to me.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
you start again. I have the pro forma invoice and the revised pro forma invoice.
Yes. I have then the deposit of the balances in our account in the Eagle account at Trust Bank. Then I have the transfers that were made from Euro African Group to Datos NV, 530,000 in two tranches, 530, and then 70,000 to Global Trading Group. So let me hand you those first.
Okay. Can I have those?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Just hold on to them. Hold on to them there. And complete the documentation.
And then I have the bill of lading, which for the shipment of the 32 vehicles. And I have also the letter in which we asked the Office of the President to refund us the difference between the exchange rate. That is also there. And I have all the invoices from the Datos NV to Euro African Group for each vehicle.
Okay, give it to him.
Sorry, excuse me.
Go back.
So there was the BL as well, the bill of lading. Thank you.
agreements, just so that we understand your documents.
To each vehicle.
And now, these are all the documents that you have. These are the only documents that you have.
This is the full documentation pertaining to this transaction.
What I don't see are the customs documentation. Did you fill out any customs documentation?
Excuse me?
Customs.
Customs?
Customs, yes.
In Gambia?
Yes.
We don't, the purchase was C&F, so we don't get involved in the customs. It's whoever is the receiver has to clear the goods. We don't get involved in the customs.
I see. All right. I'm applying for the bundle of documents relating to transaction dated 5th November 2013 from the Kanaji account, and the transaction dated the second transaction dated the 19th December 2013.
32 vehicles from Global Trading Group NV brackets Antwerp, starting with proof forma invoice number MIN-CAR-500 5,000, sorry, CAR-5000 R, dated 5th November 2013, for the sum of 600,000 euro and related documents in a bundle, admitted mark MS-17.
Have the documents, please, and your mark. I note that these vehicles are described as police cars.
No, there's two of them. The last two are police cars.
At least in the pro forma invoice.
Yes, the last two, which are namely the.
Okay, only two. Okay,
the Nissan Qashqai Accenta. These two are police cars. The rest are normal cars. The Hyundai and the Chevrolet are normal cars. It's just the last two.
Okay. So you are requested to provide 2 police cars.
Yes, that was the request for these vehicles.
That was the verbal request, you said?
Yes, it was. They paid the money and we delivered the cars. I mean, I don't have anything neither from the Ministry of the Tourism or from the Office of the President.
You do not have any records of custom declaration or who received the vehicles?
Excuse me?
Can you tell us who received the delivery of the vehicles?
I don't know who received the delivery of the vehicles. They were sent to the, as you saw on the bill of lading, the consignee was the office of the president, I guess. So it must have been people from there who received the vehicles. But I don't have any confirmed party received.
There's no written record?
No, because as I say, the contract was to supply C&F. So once I say I send the bill of lading, who clears them and who pays the duty, the customs, it's not our scope.
Our understanding is that you are the finance director.
No, I'm not the finance director, I'm a director.
You are just a director of GTG.
Correct.
No written request, no evidence of receipt of the cars. So how do we know the cars were delivered?
I think you can check port records, you can, I mean, I don't know how you can check. For me, I'm giving you evidence that we bought and shipped the cars. And Mrs. Bensouda asked me if I know that they've come. I said I've seen them physically around town, but other than that, I cannot confirm anything else to you because it's not under my scope.
For a financial transaction that large, 600,000 euros, it is abnormal not to follow. The verbal request is okay, but after the verbal request, it is normal to follow it up with a formal written request. But even after that, if you are converting $30 million out for delivery of vehicles, it comes through our port. Somebody inspected, and sign off for the vehicles. We want to believe there should be somebody from the government side who saw and said, we acknowledge receipt of these vehicles. Absent those records, we cannot take verbal confirmation that the vehicles were delivered. Yes, they were delivered, but we want evidence that they were delivered. How can you help us get that?
I said I don't have any written evidence that the vehicles were received, but what I know for a fact is, because this is not the only time we did business, if there was any problem, i.e. one of the vehicles was scratched, we would have heard about it. So we would assume, in the absence of anything to say otherwise, if no complaint or nothing was said about the vehicles being not received or received damaged or etc., we would have heard about it for sure.
I don't think that's good enough. We would like something from your side insisting on somebody actually signing a confirmation. I think for your own good as a business, GTG needed to have somebody sign and acknowledge receipt of these cars. We would request, it's a request from the Commission, for you to produce a document evidencing the delivery of these vehicles. And it's a reasonable request.
To ask it from who? From
GTG, and you are a director.
From GTG?
Yes.
To ask who for a document that they received the vehicles?
Whoever received the vehicles from your side.
In Gambia?
Where were the vehicles delivered?
Of course they were delivered to Banjul.
Exactly. Who in Banjul collected the vehicles and signed for them?
I don't know the names.
So that means there was no delivery.
When you in such a sale, what is customary? We are a trading business and we know. Once you send the bill of lading is the title deed.
32 vehicles, they were uninspected. If somebody inspect 32 vehicles and gave you no paper, there was no paperwork.
These were brand new vehicles that were bought from Belgium and shipped to the Gambia. They were received in the Gambia, we know that because we didn't hear anything.
Who received them?
I don't know who received them. The office of the president must have received them. Who received them?
Did somebody sign on behalf of the office of the president?
I don't know.
It's not acceptable. We are requesting you to provide us evidence that you delivered the vehicles and somebody signed for them. And it's a reasonable request.
I don't think this is a reasonable request because we are a trading company and we know how things work. When somebody buys something from you, you send them the relevant documents,
this is sales
the bill of lading, and they never give you a receipt that I received the goods. This is not conventional in business. Trust me on this. Nobody ever
32 vehicles enter a port
if it's 32 vehicles or it's one container, it's all the same. The methodology is that the receiver or the beneficiary never signs off and sends you a receipt that I received the goods. Once you send them the bill of lading.
Thank you. Council, we are requesting for evidence of delivery and confirmation from the GTG group. Please note, I don't believe 32 vehicles can go through a port, enter a country, and nobody sign for them. It's just not acceptable.
Mr. Fadi, since this is a company that was doing business in Gambia, it was in the interest and was being paid from public funds. It was in the best interest of the company to have ensured that there was some sort of delivery, at least, normally delivery order to show that the vehicles were actually delivered.
I agree, Mrs.
So I think that's what the Commission is asking for, to provide
Mrs. Basuda, you are absolutely right. I wish we had for every. I wish things worked in such an order that we had written confirmations for everything that we sent to say that these were received and ordered. I wish that was the case, but unfortunately it wasn't. I think what the Commission is asking me to do is to go back to people. I don't know who are the relevant people now to speak to, who had received this back 4 years ago, and ask them for a receipt. I mean, is that a reasonable request? But what I can assure you is that if you do your homework about whether these vehicles were received or not, you will find out that they were definitely received, because we would have not heard the end of it had they not been received, and we know they were received. But you're asking me for a document. I don't have that document. I'm not going to create a document, but I know they were received and received in good order. Do I have a document to say that? I don't. You want me to produce one? I don't know who is the relevant authority now to give me something like this 4 years later. So that's why I don't think the request is reasonable.
Is there any other question?
This Euro African Eagle,
yes,
as the acronym, was it registered as a company in the Gambia?
Of course.
I see. Do you have the registration documents, like the memorandum and articles of association?
The what? Excuse me, I can't.
Memo and articles of association.
Memorandum and articles of understanding of Euro-African Group?
Yes.
Of course I do, but I didn't bring them with me. I didn't think they would.
No, but you can bring them.
Of course.
Yes. Will you please bring them next time you come?
I just wanted to take notes of what you want me to bring.
You want a pen? Please, please supply him.
Thank you.
Paper.
So the memorandum and articles of Euro-African Group.
For something. But he says you don't have. What of course you don't believe. Okay, you've written that. Now we come to, and you told us who the shareholders are at this point in time. That is Eagle.
Yes.
Who are the shareholders?
Muhammad Bazi and Amadou Sambo.
I see. And who is the managing director?
For the moment, we haven't appointed one since the last one left.
Who was the last managing director?
Who was the managing director in 2013?
Of Eagle.
Manhal Awaidat. I said that in the beginning.
Sorry. And do you have his letter of appointment as managing director?
Yes, but he was appointed back in 2010. So
yeah, but maybe you can pick it up. Surely it must be in your company archive.
Yes, you want his letter of appointment?
Just note it.
Yes. But I have always been an executive director in Euro-African Group, taking part in all the activities. So I'm not saying that I wasn't. I was just answering specifically to whether I'm in the role of a managing director or not. That's it. But I have been always an executive director in the company.
Yes, we understand that.
Yeah. So you want the letter of appointment and the memorandum and articles?
Now we come to Global Trading Group.
Yes.
NV.
Yes.
Where was it incorporated?
In Belgium.
And nowhere else?
No. I said recently we had to incorporate incorporated here in the Gambia because we took 2 projects to build electrical power plants, so we incorporated here in the Gambia. That was only a year or a year and a half ago. But before that, it wasn't.
Okay, but it is now incorporated in the Gambia.
As we speak, it is.
All right, and who is the managing director?
Of Global Trading
Trading Group.
In Belgium, in
Gambia Limited.
It's a guy
called Gambia Limited now?
Yes, it's
yes. I'm speaking specifically of Global Trading Group, Gambia Limited. Do you have the memorandum and articles of association?
Of course we do. Yes.
Can you please bring it? You can list it.
Yes, yes. It's registered under the branch office of the mother company.
That will be all for the time being.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. Did you note our request for the delivery note of the 32 vehicles? A document evidencing delivery of the 32
I have noted it, but I said that I may not be able to produce it.
Please note it.
Excuse me? I've noted it, but I said I may not be able to produce it. So
make some effort. If you cannot produce a delivery note for 32 vehicles, we assume the funds were transferred and the vehicles were not received.
You will assume what? Excuse me?
That the funds were transferred and the vehicles were not received. Until you are able to convince us otherwise via a delivery note.
I explained to you exactly what I said. I said we
It's not enough what you have explained.
Excuse me?
It's not enough what you have explained.
Well,
600,000 euros is a lot. I need concrete evidence, documents or otherwise, that the vehicles were collected by someone.
I have a bill of lading.
Okay.
And that to me,
anything
as
from
a trading company, when I send the bill of lading, it is proof. You can ask your ports authorities here, and you can ask any other authorities that if they have received these vehicles or not. But nobody gives the receipt.
The ports must have given some documents. Okay.
Of course.
Yes, please.
The ports,
whatever you are able to give us, we will accept.
I will give you anything I have. Trust me. I'm here to cooperate fully with what you are doing. But when I don't have something, I will say I don't have it. It's difficult for me to produce.
We will appreciate you making an effort by contacting the ports force before you say you are not able to produce.
The ports?
Yes. If somebody...
If you say from the ports, that's something else. But you wanted me, your first question was asking me to go to the receiver and ask him for a receipt. That I don't know where the receiver is today.
Anything to help us evidence delivery?
Fine. If it's the ports, yes, I will endeavor to go to the ports and give them the bill of lading and ask them for proof that these cars arrived here. Yes, with
Thank you. That's an effort.
Yes, with pleasure.
Mr. Fadi, you said Global Trading Group Limited was registered 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, you said?
Something like that, yes.
There was a company with the name of Global already trading in Gambia, dealing with NAWEC, wasn't there?
Global?
Global.
There's another company called Global Power Systems, but these are a different company. They are Belgian shareholders. We have nothing to do with that company.
Global Power Station?
No, Global Power Systems. They still operate here, but we have nothing to do with them. They're a separate company.
Was your group not involved with NAWEC?
Sorry, come again?
Was your group of companies not involved in NAWEC?
Of course, we were the main supplier of NAWEC.
Yeah, what company was involved with NAWEC?
Euro-African Group.
It was Euro-Africa Group.
No, let me explain properly. Euro-African Group was the supplier of NAWEC of heavy fuel oil for a number of years.
Yeah.
The Global Trading Group actually won tenders, international tenders that were for NAWEC, for building power stations, substations, etc. We as a Belgian company bid and won some of these projects, which some of them are being executed as we speak, and some were executed and finalized before.
So all the time you were building, or you were in contract with NAWEC, you were doing it under Euro-Africa Group and the Belgian company?
Two separate things. Euro-African Group, we are supplying NAWEC with heavy fuel oil.
All right.
So that's one side. The Global Trading Group was only participating in international tenders that NAWIC had put up for building of power stations, substations, etc. And these were the bids were won via the tender. That's where Global Trading Group is involved with NAWIC.
So, but you were building power stations?
We built power stations, yes, that's our business.
You also built a transmission line?
We built transmission lines as well.
During that period, you were not registered?
No, it was operating as the Belgian company. But recently we decided to open a branch office here because, you know, we took two projects at the same time, etc.
You did not check out, what I mean is you did not check out a business registration as a foreign company. You know, when you're a foreign company, you're required to register if you want to do business in Gambia.
Yes.
Were you registered as a foreign company?
I think we were. We must have been, yes.
Can you confirm this, please?
Yes.
Okay. We had also requested that you provide the originals of the documents that you have submitted today, particularly the bill of lading.
Excuse me?
Provide the originals of the documents that you have
tendered. The original bill of lading we can never have because the originals you submit to the receiver. So we will only have a copy.
The bills of lading comes in
three originals and 3 copies, correct?
Yes. Do you have any of the originals?
I will see in the office in Belgium if we have a copy, but the 3 BLs, the 3 originals would have been submitted to the receiver.
So the rest of the documents too, whatever...
I have noted down, yes. You also mentioned that you wanted the original pro formas?
Yes. Well, thank you very much. We would like you to provide this information by Monday.
Just one question, sorry.
By Monday? Okay, yes. May I say something, President Suda? I'm traveling on next Wednesday, the 30th. I have some business meetings in Belgium, and I will only be coming back on the 18th of September.
I said you should produce them on Monday, not you're traveling on Wednesday, you said.
Yes. No, Monday is I will be here on Monday to produce them, but I'm saying I'm just giving the panel advance notice.
We hear you, yes. But it's just to produce some documentation.
Sorry?
It's just for you to produce what
no, that's fine, but because I heard you saying in the beginning that I might be summoned for the Gamico case because I'm just...
You've already been summoned for the Gamico case. I thought you had received the summons.
No, I didn't.
But the Secretariat will provide you with a copy of the summons when you're leaving.
Okay, but if the summons, I haven't seen it. But
we'll take it at that time. You'll take steps. When you receive the summons,
okay,
then you can advise yourself.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Sorry, just one question before you go. You mentioned about Eagle importing the fuel, heavy fuel and so on, into the country. Where was it stored? I know there was a plant at Mandinari.
Yes.
Yes. What was the name of that?
Initially, up to 2009, it was all stored at the Halfday depot.
Yes.
The old Shell depot.
Yes.
When the Mandinari depot was completed in 2009, storage started happening in Mandinari exclusively.
What was the name of that company? There was a company
Gam Petroleum Storage Facility.
That's the Gam Petroleum Storage.
It's still operating, yes.
Okay.
Is that all?
Now, you did not mention Gam Petroleum among the companies to which you are connected.
It's not, I personally have a shareholding in Gam Petroleum. I own 10.5% of the company.
Yes, you didn't mention that. That's what I'm saying. How much?
I own 10.5% shares in that company.
And does Mr. Mohammed Bazi own any shares?
He owns 31.5%.
31.5%. What about Mr. Amadou Samba?
Hold on, let's get the percentages. You own what percentage?
10.5%.
10.5. Yes. Bazi?
Mr. Bazi owns 31.5%.
31.5%. Well, what are the other percentages?
Sorry?
Who are the other shareholders?
At the moment, it's Social Security, Gambia Port Authority.
Did you say Social Security?
Social Security, yes.
Yes, SSFHC, yes. Percentage?
I can't say, but 30, maybe 33. I'll just give you, but please don't quote me on those because I don't know if they...
It's all right.
It's about 33%.
Yeah.
GPA have, I guess, around 15%. And GNPC, Gambia National Petroleum Company, have about 10%. And there is 3% which are owned by the Ministry of Finance, still owned by the Ministry of Finance. Just to answer Mrs. Bensouda, she asked me about Amadou Samba. Amadou Samba used to have shares and he sold them to, actually they bought, Ministry of Finance bought GPA and maybe GMPC. He had 10%, which they bought back in 2014.
Sorry, he had 10% up to 2014, which were bought by who?
They were spread amongst the three companies. I don't know exactly how, but it was GMPC, GPA, and that's how the Ministry of Finance ended up retaining 3%. It was out of the 10% that were acquired from Mr. Samba. But as I say, please don't quote me on the exact shares because it's plus minus. This is.
Is there any other company you haven't mentioned? Is there any other company you have not mentioned?
In Gambia? No.
Yes.
No, GP, I mean, I didn't mention it because I didn't think you were asking about the GP, but Gam Petroleum is a company that we built.
One more. What about GEG, Global Electrical Group? Does not exist anymore?
That has ceased. It has ceased operations, and we had to give the power station to Nawik.
Thank you.
Is that all, Council?
Yes, just one last question. In relation to GEG, you just said you had to give the power station to Nawik.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, at one stage, Nawik was owing us more than $65 million for heavy fuel oil and because we used to own GEG, which was an IPP. We were an independent power producer who sold electricity to Nawik. Over the years, they accumulated a combined debt between the heavy fuel supply and the electricity supply of 65 million. This is where we said we cannot continue anymore. So there was an effort by the government to settle with us. And something called a Nawik bond was created, which was to pay off the suppliers of Nawik and the banks that we owed. I think Mr. Maibas, he knows what I'm talking about. And part of that settlement, we were told that you should give up the station to Nawik, which really was not very ethical because that is a station that we owned. It was not a BOT. But in our effort to resolve this problem of the debt, we agreed to throw it in as part of the package.
There was an agreement. There was an agreement, right?
Of course, there was an agreement, but we were under the gun in that agreement. I mean, it wouldn't have been the ideal thing for us to give up that station because we still owned it. But if it was the only way to reconcile and to have our debts paid to the banks and to our supplier, we opted for that, and we got out of that business altogether.
Can you provide us with a copy of the agreement?
Which agreement?
The agreement signed for the GEG one, when you transferred. After so many years, you were supposed to transfer.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Thank you.
With pleasure.
All right. That's all for now. Give you a time on Monday. All right, at 9:30? At 10 o'clock actually. 10 o'clock on Monday, the 28th. Monday the 28th.
Monday the 28th?
Yes.
Okay.
At 10 o'clock.
time too. Sorry?
Because we just confirmed from the council's office that there was no particular summon addressed to Gamiko. But yeah, there is a summon for Manhal Quedat. Is that in relation to Gamiko? Because you mentioned to him.
Do you have a summons for Fadi?
There is a summon here for Manhal Quedat from your office.
No, I'm talking about the summons for Mr. Fadi, who's giving evidence now. Does he have a summons?
There's another one. There is a summon for him personally.
So he has not been served. You should serve him, isn't it, for Monday the 28th?
Manhal.
Can you wait and receive your summons so that you know?
Excuse me?
He's not Manhal, he's Mr. Fadi.
Fadi.
You are required to come back on Monday at 9:30.
On Monday?
Yes, at 9:30.
In connection with the documents?
The Secretariat will let you know whether you'll be required to come in connection with anything else. Please, let's sort it out.
No, because on Gamiko, sorry? Sure, that's understood. Okay, thank you.
Very well. This is wait. We will rise until 5 past 12.